Yeah, immediately the fucking baby's born and she wants to. Doesn't even give her time to rest.
No.
Not even a cup of water.
Yeah,
She,
she
she
left
just
a
said,
blood stain trail like up to the queen's chambers.
yeah.
It looked like a slug went through there. Just bleeding all the way. I'm sorry.
And
I
shout
don't
out
mean it
to
against Rain.
hello everybody. Welcome to another video. Thank you guys again for tuning in. And today I got my homeboy, my camara. I got my friend Cesar. We watched all of Game of Thrones together, and we've been keeping up with it. And what better way to bring someone in and talk about the episode, especially with House of Dragon now. And yeah, I just can't wait to explore more into this new segment that we're doing. So Cesar, welcome.
Thanks for having me, brother. Appreciate it.
Let's do this.
Let's
All
do
right.
it.
So episode 6. This was the first episode that we got introduced the new actors.
Yeah.
You know, and there was a 10-year time gap.
Yeah.
10-year time gap, and for me in the beginning, I was kind of took me a while. Going from the other actors, it took me a while for me to kind of like wrap my head around what's going on. We opened up with another birth scene, kind of mirroring what happened with Rhaenyra's mother.
Yeah. Lady, or no, her Grace.
Yeah.
Aemma.
So I mean, overall, I thought this episode was fire. Like I said, they do a good job in filling you in from that time gap. They really deliver in a way where you understand what goes on off screen. And these new actors, man, fucking they're fire.
No.
They come in and they get to work, they get their shit done. I'm just excited to see the rest of this episode. I thought it was beautiful. The shot, just the shot choices, the cinematography,
Yeah.
all that's good. I think next episode shit is just gonna hit the fan. Tell me what you think. What was your overall thoughts just in this episode alone?
I mean, there's just like a big mixture of emotions. You get the fact where you're like, boom, you're happy because she's giving birth to what you now see as her third child. Her family is growing. You see an older Rhaenyra, much more comfortable in her skin and her position and whatnot. And then you're enjoying this beautiful moment, and then your emotions switch like that. Because the queen wants to see the child, and she just gave birth, bro. So you're happy, and then you're like, damn, again with this woman, I'm sorry, I'm coming out a little strong, but the people are gonna see I have this huge hate already for
as do a lot of people,
Yeah,
so.
I'm sure, and that's where my emotions immediately go, what is wrong with this woman?
Yeah.
She's petty. She is she's just unforgiving, even though she's supposed to be the symbol of extreme faith in her religion and whatnot. So it goes to just anger, and then you're like, okay, well maybe the next scene, we'll kind of just calm it down. And Kristen Cole jumps back at it with his pettiness, and then the future scenes, you just see how it's really getting that old school Game of Thrones vibe back at it, where it's just sinister people working behind the scenes to ruin things for the people we're hoping have a happy resolution at the end, but it's just not the case.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah, and going off about that, the color green. How
Yeah.
that whole the whole thing that she wore that green to make a statement, meaning that's the call sign to bring all her allies.
Banners.
Yeah, the banners, and they're still fucking green in this episode, so you can tell that she's been holding. She still has a
grudge.
Yeah, a grudge, a mission. She has this mission, and 10 years later, it's even worse. Yeah, immediately the fucking baby's born, and she wants to. Doesn't even give her time to rest.
No.
Not even a cup of water.
Yeah, she
She
left
just
a
said-
blood stain trail up to the queen's chambers.
Yeah.
It looked like a slug went through there. Just bleeding all the way. I'm sorry.
And
I
shout
don't
out
mean it
to
against Rhaenyra, but
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
shout out to Rhaenyra for fucking
she shouldn't even be walking,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
When she just gave birth.
yeah. And then of course we got the babies. How they're looking. It's not hers, and it's very obvious. And looks like she has the thing for the kings. Is it the Kingsguard? the one who, like the guard that protects her, like the guy.
Oh, Rhaenyra.
Yeah, Rhaenyra.
Yeah, with Sir Harwin.
Sir Harwin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, they couldn't even squeeze one out with this fucking, what's his guy's name?
No, Sir Laenor.
Sir Laenor. They couldn't squeeze one out.
Well, I mean, clearly
Like-
they had that pact, from the last episode
Yeah.
going into this, which great. They've respected each other. They've lived lavishly and enjoyed,
Mhm.
the freedom they promised each other. But I do think that he let her down in that aspect, or you know what, like you said, we could have squeezed one out.
We couldn't squeeze one out. Like maybe figure something out, man. But was it 4 kids now?
Three.
Three?
Yeah,
Three.
Jack, Luke, and now Joffrey, which he names after his ex-lover.
Yeah, and so I mean, this episode was just overall, I mean, just insane, bro. And
Yeah.
I really loved, like I said, I loved everything about it. I loved the tension, just the tension between everybody. And then King Viserys, man, he's such a good guy. He's just like an old like your grandpa, just
Yeah.
wants to see his grandkids like get along, and he's just there happy when Rhaenyra, when they're at the council meeting, and Rhaenyra offers Alicent, to marry their, to merge their
Yeah,
houses, and he's just there like, oh, that's an excellent, he.
Well, it's not even that significant. It's already keeping it within the same house.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
just making the house stronger.
Yeah, but like just like King Viserys just kind of like,
wonderful.
yeah, he's just
Do
a
it.
good guy. He's just, they're smiling, and he just wants, like, he doesn't want all this drama, and you can just tell. He's just he's just,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
I think up to a certain point, it shows the growth.
Mhm.
I mean, it shows two sides of Rhaenyra. The first, the side is that she knows that the walls may be somewhat closing in on her.
Yeah.
With the rumors about the kids and Sir Harwin and whatnot, and she takes advantage of it by showing her other side, where she's grown and she's learned to compromise by saying, "Hey, you know what? I need to give my father some peace. I need to give my family some peace as well. I'm going to try to bury the hatchet with Alicent. I'll put my kids with her kids, which
Yeah.
remember, these are Rhaenyra's brothers as well. They're kids, but they're her brothers.
They're brothers, yeah.
Yeah. And we'll
That's-
marry them off.
That's so true, yeah.
Yeah, we'll marry them off, and then, well, no matter what happens, both of our kids, will be able to sit on the throne, they'll rule together and whatnot. But Alicent, of course, she's just thinking like, no, my kids marry these unproved. We know the truth, but bastards. No,
Yeah.
never. Why would my kids succumb to like these low standards, I guess? And I'm like, why are you like that,
Yeah.
You're supposed to love your husband, love your family. Well, Rhaenyra's your family too. You
Yeah,
know? And
yeah.
these kids, they're technically your grandkids.
She's doing everything opposite of what she, I don't want to say intends to do, but was, I guess, like in the beginning, how she wants to do things honorably and shit like that,
Yeah.
right? And everything now that she's doing everything the complete opposite. I mean, she even said it to Christian Cole when he called her a fucking a
Four-letter word.
spoiled cunt.
Yeah.
And she stopped him, corrected him, and said, "No, we must be better." And then there she is, fucking doing the opposite of what she's trying to, what she's actually trying to do. She actually, I think she knew what she was doing, or no, maybe not. With the whole thing with when she was explaining or telling what's that guy's name? Who killed his
Larys.
brother, Varys.
Larys.
When she was telling Larys everything, opening up to him, he saw that as an advantage. He took advantage of that, and maybe it was just an excuse to get rid of his, his brother and his father, just so he can,
Oh yeah,
take
no,
over.
because to the queen, he's selling it like I'm doing you a favor.
Yeah,
And we're jumping a little
But-
bit ahead here, but in his own mind, he has his own agenda, his own plans, and
Yeah.
he's seeking for greater glory for
yeah.
himself.
But
of
I
course.
feel like when he informed her of that information, and she was acting like she acted shocked, but
Mhm.
in a way you can. I mean, for me, in my eyes, in a way, I saw that there was like some bit of satisfaction that they were gone.
Yeah, like she
Because
didn't know whether to be
yeah,
happy or not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I saw that confusion in her acting, and which is why I think these actors are fucking just amazing, and that's why it gave her that comfort or excuse to bring her father back, and that's
Yeah.
yeah. So
No, and the quality of acting, as you said, it's top class because there's that moment, we get a look at it where she's talking with Aegon
uh-huh.
when he's, doing the business outside of that window,
Yeah, yeah.
he's about to finish right there, and she walks in, she's just like, oh, you think it's cool to pick on your brother, sending him a pig to ride and whatnot.
That window's been through enough.
So right. So, um, she's supposed to be this really sweet person, all about her faith and whatnot, her family. But it goes back to that point where she's instilling within her own children, this hate for the other kids, for Rhaenyra's kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though they're
that's
cousins.
so true, yeah.
And Aegon himself says, you know what? I won't challenge her. I don't care. It's not that big of a deal to me. I'm not for the throne.
Yeah.
But she says, no, this is about survival. Like, is it really? Or is it, it's sort of filling some sort of, ego for you, your kids have to sit on the throne because, if it's not yours, then you fear for your life. Well, there's no reason to. Rhaenyra's never threatened them. The kids have never really shown any hate for their, I guess, they're their uncles.
Yeah.
They've grown up together. They're learning together. They're playing together. So why would such hate have to even exist? Unless you instill that in your kids.
In your kids, yeah. And you can tell the difference after she, remember after she catches him doing that shit, and she fucking gets mad at him and like grabs him by the fucking face, and you can see the shift in how they were acting towards their kids.
Yeah, Rhaenyra kids.
And now she instilled that in their head, and now they're gonna be, that's why from here on out, I'm just excited to see what's gonna go on.
Yeah, because now they're thinking it's about survival rather than just harmony, living in peace. And like I said, it goes back to that good acting because it's a 10-year skip. New actresses playing Rhaenyra and Alicent. But even from the first few minutes, you already hate Alicent. Like you hated.
Yeah, you already. Yeah.
This actress, I believe her name's Olivia Cook. She's done a great job to say it's the same person. I'm just 10 years older, and I'm the same.
She does
the same spiteful little shit.
Great job.
You hated last episode. I'm the same person, and you're gonna hate her the same. And yeah, she's doing a great job.
And that's the thing that I was not worried about, but just usually whenever there's things that happen off screen in a movie or in a show, it's hard to land. It is. It's hard to get the audience back in, and this is even more tougher because it's a new set of actors.
Yeah.
So, and I think that these actors picked up the mannerisms of the first 5 episodes that was with the other actors. And I think they picked up their little, like I said, mannerisms in terms of how they talk, how they go about themselves, and they carry themselves, and they brought that into these new actors, and I thought they did a great job, and I thought it was fucking fire. And Damien. Can't forget about Damien.
I was gonna say, let's take a little break from all this anger and tension, and let's go to someone who's living a little more of a relaxed lifestyle. He's just living his best days with his wife, his beautiful daughters, and as we now know, there are 3 dragons, not 4, because one of them is still pending, her own.
Yeah, I really love that storyline with Damien. I like that he's kind of in a way just doesn't know who he is, and she this is my guy. He knows all the names. I don't know the fucking names. What's her name?
Damon and was it Lena?
Lena.
I think it's Lady Lena Valyria.
Yeah. So they got married. They already have 3 daughters.
Yeah. No, 2 daughters. It's Bela and I think Rayna or Rayla.
Yeah.
Bela and Rayla, I think. Yeah, these names I'm still getting a little bit used to them.
So I really love that. He's living a more peaceful life, just going about his duties and just trying to live life with her. And then I really loved her character. I really do. And then she fucking they just ripped that out, man.
No, I know. They showed her as a 12-year-old little girl, trying her best to fulfill her duties. And you get like that. That's all she's ever tried to do.
Yeah.
Do right by her family, by her father, and then what could have been her future husband in the King, and it didn't go down. Whatever. So you see a slightly more teenage version. and the last episode,
Yeah,
episode
yeah.
5.
And you saw the chemistry there
Yeah,
between them.
she shoots her. She does her move with Damon. It works out clearly. 10 years later, 2 kids, 3 dragons, as we
3
established.
dragons.
And we see that now, somewhere between that time gap, or maybe by the time of episode 5 already, she was the dragon rider for Vhagar now, the largest dragon in existence at the moment. And that's beautiful because you can see that she has that true passion of a dragon rider. She enjoys the moments that she's with the dragon. She enjoys the moment she's up in the air riding. They open up the scene. They're kind of putting a show. For the
Yeah,
people
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
Pento.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was.
And it's a show for them, and it's also a show of power. These dragons are the real deal. But they're not there to threaten anyone. They're showing the more beautiful side of what dragons bring.
Yeah.
It's just a pure fire. It's not just destruction. It can be something really nice as well, especially for someone like her who really values them.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, Damon, it kind of brings two aspects to him, right? Like the family man who just kind of wants to chill. He's done with Westeros for now. He doesn't really have that ambition anymore.
And she pushes him. That dialogue.
Well, at the same time, I think she's trying to bring about that
dialogue.
That ex-hunger, like, hey, we need to go back. Our home is over there and whatnot. I miss my family. I miss
like, you're more than this.
Yeah, and she notices that, to a sense, he's kind of like, something's missing. Something's broken.
Yeah. He's broken, bro. Especially everything he's been through. Right now he's living a peaceful life. I'm sure that he's not used to, and so he has kids. He has a wife, and he's kind of like, fuck, like, who am I? What do I do? And so
like, you can tell he loves this family.
Yeah, and that dialogue and when they're in the rooftop, and she's telling him, "You're more than this," and like she's like, this is not you. Like, you're more than this. I thought that was just, it was just amazing to see. What do you think about her death?
Well, we go back to the opening scene with Rhaenyra, where it kind of has that symbolism, where he remember how when Aemma Arryn, the king's ex-wife, who passed away, the widow, when she passed away because of the childbirth, he sort of kind of made a joke about it. Remember when they were out in the brothels?
Oh yeah, he said the king who never.
Something about the
like
prince.
that.
Yeah.
Reign for one day or some shit like that.
Or the heir for a day.
Heir for a day. Yeah.
Yeah. So now fast forward.
Yes.
Fast forward a few years, and he's put, ironically, in the exact same situation where either, you do the same action, you basically kill your wife for a possible child being born.
Yeah, he's
or
put
you
in
eat
this
your words.
Same position.
And you lose them both.
But did he decide there? I don't know, because
he did.
It looked like he said no.
He said no. Yeah. He didn't want to risk it.
And his acting there was so fucking fire because he didn't look like he kept his composure. Like, he still looked like Damon. He was just like, he was chill about it, and he just nodded his head just calmly. And then I thought that was just, like I said, I thought that whole thing was, I didn't see it coming.
But just, the irony,
Yeah, the irony, exactly.
15 years back, you're essentially talking shit.
You're
shit. Drunk in a tavern or in a brothel, and then the words come back to the king, and now
you're in the position,
right?
Yeah, dude. I thought that was I really wanted to see her more, and I was actually, like, when I was watching the episode, I remember thinking, like, damn, I can't wait to see, like, more of this, more of them.
Yeah.
And
and
I'm getting chilled right now just talking about it. But she says, I want to die a dragon rider's death. Rider's death. And instead of dying, she's like, no, I'm not gonna let anyone make a decision on how I die.
Bleeding out here.
She walks her ass to the beach.
Got me fucked up.
Dracarys, dude, that shit.
No, you gotta love that the dragon's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, the dragon.
Like, Dracarys, and the dragon's like, no, fam. Like, I can't do that to you. And she's like, bro, please, like.
And
crying. It's a dragon. Like, I think she understands that.
Crying in pain.
I'm about to lose it all.
Yeah.
Do this for me. And I think that's when, at the end, Vhagar says, you know what? When her own dragon mind, I'll do it. And she burns her alive. But, we've seen people burn alive before. We've seen them burn, by dragon fire at the stake and whatnot. And usually there's screams. And this woman is such a badass.
Did not scream.
Not a single scream.
They say
not even no grunts, nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. She just took it like a champ,
She,
bleeding out. She was weak, so weak. And she still didn't find, a reason to say, no, I ain't going out like no bitch,
Yeah.
No, I'm going to take it and this is what I want. And she pulled through, I had respect.
yeah.
Both her and Rhaenyra showed me strength that, it comes, they always say, women, they have this extra layer of, power and strength
Yeah,
within them because
they do.
failed childbirth,
Yeah.
and they still have the power to walk, I don't know how far into other rooms or go out to the dragon and get burned alive and not a single scream.
Yeah, and even what's this guy's name again? Valerian, the one who she's married to, Rhaenyra.
Laenor.
Laenor. He fucking says it. I'm glad I'm not a woman.
Oh yeah, he does.
He says it.
It's
He
true.
says it right as she's walking. And no, but I mean, overall, this episode was just straight fire. Like I said, everything about it, the tension, everything about it. I don't think I can find one negative thing to say about this episode. If you
In
think
terms of the episode, I don't think so. I mean, the only thing,
like what is there something you didn't like, or maybe you thought
the only thing that I thought could have helped have more of a build up. For example, Rhaenyra's relationship with Sir Harwin. We saw them how he caught her, in
it was it was kind of
he
just like
caught
that.
her, for those few seconds and like, all right, get up to the castle and whatnot. But then, you fast forward all these years and suddenly he's a father of her 3 kids.
Exactly.
That's the only thing.
There was no chemistry built up there.
Nothing.
I feel, yeah.
He saved her when the fight broke out at the ceremony, the feast for the wedding.
Yeah.
When they announced it. But other than that, there's really not been anything to kind of build up to like, hey, why are these two,
Why do they love each other?
Well, I don't know.
Like, not even that, not even that, but like, why are they?
Where did it start?
Yeah.
How did it start? Because now they have 3 kids.
And in this episode, you didn't even see them. Like, I don't even think there was like chemistry really, because I mean they were trying to keep it in the dark, of course.
Yeah.
And there was just this one where he says, "I will see you. I'll see you again as a stranger," and there was just that like stare, that glance that they were doing. But other than that, there wasn't really any, like you said.
Yeah.
You're right. They could have done better on that. Maybe they could have done some shit on the side where, they talked about, something, and maybe that could have showed, their chemistry there or something. But yeah, I feel you. It was just kind of on the nose there.
They just threw it at us.
Yeah, they threw it at us, and it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, he's the father.
And I mean, not only did they throw on us that he's the father of 3 of her kids, or all 3 of her kids.
Yeah.
But then you fast forward to what we'll get to right now at the end, and now he's getting killed. He's done.
He's done.
He starts and he ends in the same episode.
Yeah.
And where was the build up? Where was that middle point? And then
I think that's the thing that
just straight to the end.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I think that's the thing that I didn't like about this episode is that he died in the same. Yeah, starts in the same episode and dies in the same episode. Yeah. Same thing for Damien's wife. Her name?
Oh, Damien's wife? Laena.
Laena. Same thing for Laena. Fucking starts off strong. We're in love with her. We fucking like her, and dead. Same episode. Start and finishes the same episode. They could have at least left her maybe for another episode. But I mean, I'm sure, they have to go by the book and kind of how the story goes. Right. And
well, that's the thing. Maybe those who have read the book and know the story are not as shocked by what's going on because they know where how this all built up.
Yeah.
But if you're just watching the show,
how
majority of us are.
For those of you that have read the book, jump in the comments and let us know what
we're missing.
Yeah, the story, but without the spoilers. If episode 6 was as accurate as the book, if the death, was, I guess, timely and necessary. But yeah, man. So episode 7, we saw the trailer. At the end of the episode, we see what's, they show you next episode. I think there's another time gap. I think they're doing another 10 years, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know about all that, but I mean, if they are, okay, cool. Let's see how it rolls out.
Every single episode has been a huge time jump.
Yeah, the first 2 episodes were a year or 2 at a time.
Did you see the trailer for the new episode? The episode 7 that's about to come out?
I actually have not seen it.
Let's watch it. So we're going to watch it and we'll react to it. Check this out. Of episode 7, we'll go ahead and play it for you guys on the screen.
Salud.
Cheers. Let me pause it. Let's do it. Cheers. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Mm.
Doesn't have to be liquor, man. It
Oof.
have to be root beer or whatever.
Big cafecito.
Yep.
What is this brief mortal life? If not the pursuit of legacy.
Got Corley talking.
We play an ugly game.
If you are to be a strong queen, your subjects must fear you.
Fire is such strange power. Everything that House Targaryen possesses is
Oh,
empty.
look at that!
Someone stole Vhagar.
Oh.
There is a debt to be paid. This is the highest of treasons.
I promise you in time, you and I together will prevail.
I see you as you are.
Nipple chills, bro. I got chills.
Their auto's back? Of course, you know.
So, I saw that on the. I saw somewhere. I saw a picture, but the guy with the hoodie who steals the dragon is
Aemon.
Aemon.
Well, he is one of the two people that's missing a dragon.
Yeah, so-
one of Daemon's kids
Yeah.
and him.
So he steals the dragon, I believe, and I don't know if that's how it is in the book, but he does. He ends up stealing him, and so that's why, as you see in that shot, he's a grown ass man. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, that there
There's a time
should
jump.
be
There has to be.
there
yeah.
has to be another time jump. That's what I mean. I don't know about this shit. Like, I don't know about these time jumps. I mean, the show's fire so far,
Yeah.
but the time jumps, I think they need to chill. I mean, I don't know. I think they need to stretch out the stories that they build in one episode. Maybe they do a 2 episode where they stretch one story and then they continue to stretch it out in that second
Yeah,
episode.
I mean,
and then they
I
can do
agree.
a time jump.
Yeah.
But to do a time jump every single episode, that's what it's been so
Well,
far.
I didn't mind the 1-2 year time jumps at the beginning. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's 1 or 2 years. But now you've got 10 years. People will go from kids to grown ass people. And the next generation's about to do the same thing. And it's kind of like, okay, well, how are we building up to this? You know, where are we getting that story, the juiciness between,
Yeah.
Of what we're getting. But, I mean, I understand it. You know, we do have to kind of get the story going as well. You know, the
Yeah,
the
because-
good stuff's coming. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, and I don't know if, like, in the book,
Right.
there's time jumps. Like, when you're reading it, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just like a full book, and then you guys go through the chapters, and then maybe in, like, let's say from chapter 1, episode 1 is chapter 1, and then episode 2 is chapter 5.
Well, from
You
what
know what I mean?
what I understand, because I myself haven't read the books, but from what I understand is that the books are not actually being told, from a first person point of view. Like, for example, Game of Thrones
Yeah,
was.
I heard
They're-
about that.
It's more like someone's documenting what happened, or several people. I think it's like 2 or 3 people, and they're each telling their own versions of how this all went down. So there's no definitive version, and what we're actually getting in the show is how things actually went down, not from the point of view of anyone or other. This is actually what should have been the book that got written on it,
Yeah.
but nobody actually knew everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of just tied in all the pieces, of everything they were able to tie up and made, a book from 3 different perspectives or something
Yeah.
or 2. But yeah, so it definitely looks like there's a time jump coming. And if Aemon is the one who steals Vhagar, I mean, I don't know, do you steal a dragon if you're a dragon rider yourself? You're a Targaryen.
I mean,
it's kind of fucked up. She
yeah,
just died.
because I know, if I'm not mistaken, like the Targaryen or whoever is gonna be the dragon rider, they have to build like a bond with the dragon.
Yeah,
rider.
yeah, yeah.
Like, you can't just claim that dragon. I think there has to be like some sort of bond that you have to. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. If I remember from Game of Thrones.
Well, we saw Aemon trying to get close to another dragon in this episode. Remember?
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they gave him the pink terror or whatnot. It was just a pig.
Yeah.
But he went further down and saw a dragon, and that dragon was like not
Nah,
having
he's like,
it. He's
fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here.
Fuck
Exactly.
out of here.
But for him to steal a dragon, that means the dragon's more than willing to say, all right, hop on, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So is it stealing, or did he just create that bond right away? I mean,
That's true.
and what problems does that entail in the future?
Mm.
Because you see that all the kids are kind of picking on him. He's kind of like the runt, the guy that gets jumped on by everyone else.
I don't know what it is, but these in every, like, why can't they make one good kid? I don't, you know what I mean? Like all the kids just seem fucking. I mean, I don't know if that's how it is when we were like when we were young. Maybe we were like that, like kind of just rebellious, cagando palo.
Yeah.
Like we didn't just give a fuck, bullying. But I don't know why. I mean, like, so if we do a time jump and one of these kids is like a more honorable man and more like on the, you know, like a Jon Snow, Ned, you know, type of, you know, man, it's gonna be hard to comprehend that because of how, I guess, you know, dumb, you know, the way kids act, you know. I mean, the guy, like for example, the guy who's jacking off and fucking for the whole fucking.
Yo, that's Prince Aegon.
Yeah,
that's who, and that's what I wanted to get into eventually. But go ahead.
No, yeah, okay, so yeah, so all I'm trying to say is that if we do a time gap, and we do 10 years, another 10 years, and these kids go from 15 to 25, and if this kid's 25 years old and he's just a, you know, I mean, if he's just a good man, right? I mean, I'm just I don't know how he's gonna be in the, like I said, I haven't read the book, I don't know anything about it, but I'm just saying if they're gonna be doing a time gap and then his personality is completely different than what he was as a kid, it's gonna be a little bit hard to kind of wrap your head around that.
What changed?
What changed, and this was him. What was his experience like that made him like that? You know,
well,
what
maybe
I mean?
it was his mom just bitching at him all the time.
Yeah,
you know, like,
I mean,
hey, you need to watch your back, and
yeah,
they want to kill you. Like, well, maybe that made him grow
yeah.
up.
And I think, like I said, it works for these. It works for Rhaenyra and Alicent because you saw them like in their, I guess, their teen years.
Yeah, yeah.
You saw them going about that. We only get one episode of the boys, of the kids.
Yeah.
And then the next episode, they're gonna be fucking already
men. I mean,
so it's gonna be hard. I mean,
for Joffrey here.
I guess we gotta wait. I guess we gotta wait.
Good name, Joffrey.
Joffrey, fucking Joffrey. Even Joffrey off screen, fucking. Speaking of Joffrey, I was telling him off camera that in Game of Thrones, I don't know what episode is it. What episode it is, but when Joffrey is taking her name,
the lady from Hightower.
Hightower, when she's like,
it's not Hightower. I'm sorry. She's from
the Barat,
the Highgarden. She's from Highgarden.
Some shit. Highgarden. Yes. Is it?
Yeah, they're from Highgarden.
Yeah. So when he's taking her around to see all the tombstones and shit, he talks about Rhaenyra Targaryen, and it's because I was rewatching the episode and
how she died.
Yeah, I was just rewatching Game of Thrones, you know, just for this shit, and I saw that, and then I saw it on YouTube, but it didn't click when I first saw it on the episode.
Right.
I saw it on YouTube, and I was like, holy shit. So there's a spoiler, guys. If you guys want to go check it out, go ahead and look it up. But we pretty much just know what happens to.
Yeah, we know like the final page, but
yeah,
we don't know.
But that's
how
that's what I like about this prequel is that these events happened before, right? And the history is talked about in Game of Thrones, and that's why I think this fucking this House of Dragon is just fire because we get to fucking see everything that happened, you know, before the Game of Thrones. And in Game of Thrones, you get a shitload of mentions as to what happened, the Mad King, even before that, and it's just like finally you hear it in Game of Thrones, you hear it as in the dialogue and in the lines, but you finally get to paint a picture in your head because they bring it, you know.
Yeah.
And this prequel's fire. So I think this show overall is great. If I'm not, dude, did you hear that they're making a House of Lannister prequel?
I heard that they were doing a Jon Snow possible
sequel
coming up.
Sequel, yeah. So they're gonna do they might do a Jon Snow, was him as the, you know, was it Past the Wall?
Past the Wall. Maybe he comes back. I don't know.
Yeah, and then they're doing they might do a prequel of House of Lannister.
Wow,
that might be crazy too.
Well, these Lannister seems like assholes.
Yeah, this
it's not like a generational thing.
This Lannister in this episode in this House of Dragon looks like a fucking just a tool.
Oh yeah.
But
he seems to be like, you know, as much of a whore as Tyrion was, but as dumb as Jaime was. He's just full of himself and oblivious to the actual situation.
Jaime, I mean, I think Jaime was quite smart if you think about it.
I don't know. The man wore his heart on his sleeve. He was
you're right.
Everything he did was for
when
love.
It came
he
to
said it himself.
when it came to, like you said, like heart on his sleeve. When it came to love and shit, he was a dumbass. Like he didn't give a fuck. He would jump. He was reckless.
Left my girl Brienne just waiting for.
You gonna make love to Brienne and just.
Brienne the beauty.
Dude, that we're going into Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But no, it's necessary. Anyways,
Well, I mean, we can get back into this. So yeah, I mean, if we get that time jump, that's cool. I just hope they tie it in a little bit better.
Yeah.
We've seen that those previews or the images where Aemon has like he's missing an eye.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it
yeah.
as a result because he stole a dragon or something? That
Yeah.
could tie in with like there's a price to be paid.
Yeah.
Where Allison's talking about that. Damn Allison.
Yeah, let's talk about Allison a little bit more. Let's go more into Allison because I feel that she is. We were talking about it through text. Right after the episode, after I saw it, I messaged him, and we were talking about it, and he brought up a good point how Allison wants to seem like the innocent.
Yeah.
She's putting herself like, yeah, she's coming across, or she thinks that she's innocent. She's trying to do things the right way and trying to correct things, but in reality, she's actually the one causing the destruction that's about to come.
I mean, you gotta love how she's all offended about every single thing that happens. I like to look at it this way. She ties everything that's going on. I'm pretty sure she's gonna blame it on Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra lied to me about sneaking out and doing whatever she did that evening. In Flea Bottom with Daemon, and then the truth about Cole came out because we know Cole is just the Nietz. For those who don't know, he's a bitch. He's just petty.
Yeah,
He couldn't accept.
Let me give you all not quick backstory, but "niets" is a word in Spanish, we'll call it puñetas, right? Puñets. And so we just shortened that out and just called it "niets." It's
Yeah,
fun.
he's a Niet, and he's just,
Yeah.
Anyways, so this guy is the total Niet, and now he's on Allison's side because all the side of honor and
Yeah.
whatnot. Yet he's over here insulting the heir to the throne, calling her a spoiled cunt.
Spoiled cunt. Cunt.
Because that's how you address the heir to the throne,
Yeah.
right? So that's just him being petty, and then it goes back to Allison being this high, mighty, person of faith, but she catches her son clearly jacking off in a room with a mattress on the floor where he doesn't need that mattress for himself. He's clearly doing something.
And I don't think that's even his room.
It's not his room.
It's not.
Yeah, I think he's in the high sept or in somewhere in the
Took a mattress there just
yeah.
to beat it.
You could see it later in the episode. The way the maidens look at him, like
Yeah.
they look at him awkward because they know that they're smashing in that mattress.
Yeah.
He's doing the deeds, and Allison clearly knows. She knew where to find him, where to go to him and get to him, and talk about what had happened with Aemon. But she's not telling him like, oh, how dare you disrespect your name and whatnot because you're here with these. But when it was Rhaenyra who allegedly, she didn't even have the facts. She didn't have the proof to say, Rhaenyra, you were out there smashing with Daemon, or you did this with Cole. At this point, it's Cole's word against hers.
Yeah.
But she's still taking the side, against Rhaenyra, and it boils down to what? That Rhaenyra lied to me.
And she's been holding that little fucking lie.
This is literally what
building
up this war.
Like
a lie.
A lie.
An alleged lie.
And I understand. You also I try to think about it and look at it in her shoes. If someone lied to me about, I guess, but I don't want to get too much into it. But she did lie to her face. Bottom line. But Allison is she's
taking it too personal.
She's taking it too personal.
When, if anything, Rhaenyra was the one that got lied
to
first.
Well, because of that lie, she went against her father. Yeah. So she went against her father and drove her father out, and which I think is the main reason why Allison is so petty and is holding that grudge. But I do feel that she's overstepping in every single way, meaning like she's not. She I don't even know how to put it into words, but
she married into this family.
This is what this is why I love this show, because that something so, I don't want to say small, but that one lie, like you said, that one lie it's gonna cause this war over just this dispute between these two women.
Yeah.
And it's tough, man. And I don't know if Rhaenyra is actually gonna be a queen. because she's heir to the throne.
She's heir to the throne.
So I want to see
expect,
that.
but how many times have we expected things?
Yeah, I'm not God.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And like you said, she's taking it personal maybe because of her father and whatnot. But at the same time, she never came clean about what was happening with the king. When her own father, the hand of the king at the time, was launching
Facts.
her at him, hey, you need to be there for the king.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, was there no ulterior motive? Really?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you care for your friend the king, but at the same time, suddenly your daughter's becoming the queen, and she's gonna have heirs, and suddenly the High Towers are gonna have grandchildren. And
she knew what she was doing when she was trying to fucking distract him.
And if she didn't know, then she's an idiot.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's an idiot. I think, if anything, she's a conniving devil.
She's the dumbass.
So who should really be offended?
Yeah,
Rhaenyra.
yeah,
And even
Rhaenyra.
then, she's tried to squash it for her own benefit at times, but she's tried to squash it and said, you know what? Let's just end this right here. We'll marry our kids. They can both sit on the throne, and we'll make this dynasty, last for another 100, 200,000 years. Who knows?
Yeah.
No, not over when my body's turned cold or something.
Yeah.
Right? When she said, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, dude. You can just definitely see that. And Rhaenyra, when so they're already back at Dragonstone.
Yes.
As they said, a wise man said, "You flee as the storm gathers."
Yes.
So she took that advice. I thought that was tough. That dialogue, that line right there, because there was two. She hit him with you do not abandon your ship when the storm, something like that, right?
Don't leave your family. Don't leave me when I need
and
you
he
most.
said a wise man leaves as a cat. So it's like there's two sides to it, but
doesn't that show how good of a ruler she is, or what she would be?
She's smart.
She says, you know what, I'm bringing you with me. I'm giving you a direct order, but you know what, you can bring your boy over there.
Yeah,
because I need a sword and you need a lover.
She knows that would keep him happy.
Yeah.
And
You're
if he's happy,
we're safe,
yeah,
we're stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
So it shows how much she's grown.
Rhaenyra,
she's very smart.
yeah, she is very smart. And you can tell in the early episodes when she was there just serving wine to everybody in the council, she would offer her opinion after she was named heir, and she had some valid points. And you can tell right away, everyone looking at her like who the fuck is she to talk? But she is very smart. She's very well aware of everything that's going on, and I believe that if she was queen, she can be a fucking good queen.
You gotta love how she defends now. Like when she's older, she still defends Daemon.
Yeah.
With that issue going on, the Stepstones again.
Yeah.
The Trident, they're coming back and they're causing trouble. Daemon's over here worrying about his own thing, where they want him to fight for Pentos and lead some people away. Find peace for Pentos. But they're over here they're still talking shit about Daemon, and she says, well, he hasn't left it unattended. We've left it unattended. Us as the Sixth Kingdom, at this point, they're aligning with Dorne, but it's our fault. And she still has that soft spot for Daemon. Could that still be an issue down the line? Because
now that his wife passed away, they can.
He's not shied away from killing his spouse before. He loved, Lady Lena, but
another thing you brought up.
What's that?
His wife, the one that died from the horse.
Yes.
Yes. Fucking.
Can't remember her
name. We'll Google it. Let's Google it real quick. Yeah. It was Lady. The Veil. It was the queen of the. The Queen of the Veil right now.
Rhea Royce. That's her. Rhea Royce.
Yeah. So that was his wife.
First wife.
And he was never there, right?
No.
He had left. Yeah. And he mentions it when he's arguing with the king. He's like, "You've always tried to send me away to the Veil." So he went to the Veil to marry her, and then that's where the dialogue comes out in episode 5, where that guy tells him, "Oh, you murdered my cousin." And he says, "Well, I inherited everything since I was her husband."
Right.
That was another. I mean, that's episode 5, right?
Yeah.
When she dies, is that episode 6 or 5?
No, same episode, I think. Right.
Oh no! She dies in episode
4.
No, she dies in 5.
She does.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's just so much going on.
Yeah. But yeah, that's episode 5. Another thing, she seemed like a great character, interesting character, and just dies in within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah, you know what?
This show
Damon describes her like this, almost hideous beast of a woman.
And she was
And you look at
beautiful.
her, she was an attractive woman.
Yeah, she was beautiful.
Riding horse. Knows how to use
Yeah,
a bow and arrow.
and you don't know who she is in the first it starts off and she's riding badass shots, and I'm like, dude, who is this girl?
Yeah.
She's like, I like her already. Yeah, she's beautiful and
Looks like an
paralyzed.
Amazon. Dead.
fucking Amazonian from fucking
You just can't get attached to anyone in the
can't,
show.
you
You know what I mean?
can't.
You know which players are gonna last a little bit longer, but you just know that anyone can die at any
Yeah.
moment.
And what's crazy is that Honor, like what we've seen from Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, having honor
Will get you killed.
will get you killed. And
Yeah.
that's crazy. It's because you want to believe that the good can win. You want to believe good will overcome evil. And in a way, I believe it does. But in this show, they do, like, if there's someone there who's going on a straight line, man, like they're on a straight line, they're doing things honorable, and they want to be the better man. It
Yeah.
never works out.
No.
Never.
Even when you think like, oh, maybe if Ned Stark had stayed, at Winterfell,
Yeah.
then you realize that everyone finds out that the people that tried to kill Bran was Lannisters because Bran saw something. It still would have started a war. And was Robb gonna take Ned's side? Okay, maybe they still would have got him drunk, still would have killed him, and then Joffrey would have been on the throne anyway. He's not letting his brother die. So no matter what, things had to happen for a reason, and that's what makes an incredible show like what Game of Thrones was, and what we're hoping House of the Dragon will continue to be. But we're in for some upsets, definitely.
Yeah. So
And this is just starting. I mean, the Strongs, Sir Harwin and Lionel
Sir Harwin
burning and Harrenhal.
God.
We know Harrenhal's cursed from Game of Thrones, but now we're seeing that it's not just there. It's been a constant theme ever since Aegon the
and
Conqueror.
he was introduced in what, episode 2?
Sir Harwin
No.
or Lionel.
Yeah. He was
There's
introduced.
Larys.
Larys.
Oh.
Yeah, where was Larys?
Larys,
Larys was
yeah.
introduced early on.
Yeah, when the
But he-
episode when Aegon was
Yeah,
born,
and I
his,
think
first
this-
birthday.
And we got introduced a new villain. If
Yeah.
you think about it. Yeah. So
I don't think it's a coincidence. It's Larys and Varys. I mean, it's the spider of the time,
And we got introduced to him early on, and we didn't really know much about him. I honestly, when I was watching him, I just thought, oh, there's some fucking guy in the fucking cane, and has a cane and
Old peg leg.
yeah. And I was just wondering what his role was in this show, what like his purpose was at the end,
Well, now we know.
and what a way to fucking introduce him, like introduce him in a way where like, okay, this is who he is.
And this quiet dude,
dude, that
sits with the ladies. He's just listening, But he is
He's like
essentially like a
he's like
master
a-
of whispers
he-
without being a master of whispers.
he's like a lady finger.
A lady finger. I like that.
Yeah, that's what it is, no?
No, it's little finger, but
Lady finger. No, because you said lady though.
Well, he's with the ladies,
yeah. Lady finger.
yeah, ladies.
But no, he's kind of like Littlefinger in a way because he's just subtle,
Yeah,
doing damage behind
yeah.
closed doors. He's subtle with it and
he attacks in
Quiet,
the shadows.
quiet. And I love how they showed when he goes to the prisoners and tells them like, "Hey, I got a job for you.
You can live,
You can live."
but you're losing your tongue, so
You're
you can't
losing-
talk about it, and you're doing this job. You're forever pretty
Bro,
much in my
that
service,
whole-
but you have your
That
life.
whole montage of just like I thought it was just fucking beautiful, man. This whole fucking show, and you
That's
know,
pretty much why we
and,
love
and,
this.
and this is one. I don't think it's the most expensive show, but it's like a 20 million budget per episode.
Wow,
It's insane.
it makes sense.
The
I mean, you can
first
see it.
the first Game of Thrones was $8 million per episode, so they upped it up with 20 million. And another thing about, okay, so let's talk about now in terms of just the show overall and like the look of it, cinematography, the period piece. Dragon Pit, for example, we saw Dragon Pit in Game of Thrones burnt down, empty at the end.
Nothing like it.
Yeah, and now that we saw the Dragon Pit,
How
when
it really was. Yeah, it's fantastic.
that's what I love again about the prequel is that, like I said, all the history that's mentioned in Game of Thrones, you see it visually in this, in this show.
Yeah.
And Dragon Pit was one of them. We saw Dragon Pit at the end of the season when Bran was named king, And
yes, Bran the Broken.
yeah, and it was fucking, the whole dragon pit was just done, broken, and then we get to see the dragon pit at its, full, and where they have all the dragons. That's where they go. So what do you think about the look of it overall, like just in general?
I think it's just badass to see a time when the Targaryens were truly in power. It was pretty much, if not already, they're pretty much already at the peak of their power, their time ruling. They have, at this point, I don't know how many dragons. I don't know if they've had that many before. Vhagar's still around, and there's more and more being born with every child that's born.
Vhagar is...
We're supposed to see something like 17, 18 dragons throughout the season.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a shit ton of dragons, man.
Yeah.
You saw what damage Daenerys could have done with just 3. Imagine 17 or 18 of those under the same family. And that's what it goes back to. Like, if they had that unity...
And you know what's crazy? That the Valerians are also dragon riders. So you got two families.
Well, the Valerians because... The Valerian children because of the queen that never was.
Targaryen.
Her children.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they also became dragon riders because
and they speak Valyrian.
Yeah, because they have Targaryen blood as well.
Because they're of old Valyrian.
Yeah, and so what are they even mentioning Game of Thrones?
No, they don't have to. It's 200 years before, and this story in itself it's fantastic.
But
there are hints.
Did they go extinct or some shit? Because in Game of Thrones, I don't even hear about.
Well. Supposedly, from what I've gathered, at the end of this war, majority, if not all, the dragons are gone by then. This war ruins the dragons. I think either they all die or there's like 1 or 2 left, maybe something like that. It's supposed to be drastic.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Damn.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, there's a lot coming up. There's a lot to look forward to, but I'm excited and I'm also afraid. Yeah. Just playing with my emotions like always. Game of Thrones never changes.
Yeah. So I mean, this show is, it's a great fucking show. What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it. We'll wrap it up from here, guys. If you guys are here, if you guys stayed this long into the video, thank you guys very much. We appreciate it. This is going to be a new segment. Every episode, we're going to be reviewing and just talking about it. So go ahead and, consider subscribing so you can be notified when we drop more content. We're also thinking about reacting to the episodes. So comment down below. Let us know if you want the reaction. And again, thank you guys. So hit that like button. YouTube will get that video and throw it out there for fans like you guys, and it would just mean the world to us if you can just support in any way. All right, so my man Cesar's here, and he will be here for a good time, not a long time. Thank you guys.
Great fun. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in episode 7.